Okay, so here we go. Just a few days back, Ubuntu came out with the new release 10.10.10, and I downloaded it, and I actually have, okay, this is what the deal is. On my new laptop, it's a 64-bit operating system. My old laptop here is a 32-bit. The 32-bit version of Ubuntu I could get to work. My 64-bit I could not get to work, so I was pretty much stuck using Ubuntu on this, my older laptop, which is much slower. So what I did is I downloaded the new version, Ubuntu 10.10.10 Desktop AMD 64 ISO. Then using the Startup Disk Creator, which is on every Ubuntu system, I was able to load the ISO into here and then create, on this flash drive, a startup disk. So now, I can just with this flash drive right here, see if you can get the full effect. This flash drive, this now contains a complete OS on it. And I can run Ubuntu on any 64-bit computer in the world, pretty much. So, let's test it out on the new machine and see how it works. Okay, so I know some of you guys are probably wondering, how do I use this in this? Well, I mean, I know you all know how to use a flash drive, you just plug it right in there. But to boot Ubuntu off this disk, or this drive, I just plug that in, and I hit the power button, and it runs up here, and F2 go to set up utility. F2 does boot manager as well. And then under my BIOS settings here, boot, I've already set it up. It always tries to boot off this flash drive and then the hard drive. So if that is plugged in, it'll automatically boot from the flash drive. So we can just escape to exit out, escape out using changes, yes. And here we go. We've got a little image down on the bottom. I'm not actually sure what that means. But it's booting up Ubuntu. You can see a little LED flashing in the flash drive there. Yes, Ubuntu is a good deal faster than Windows 7 is on the boot, though it actually ends up taking a bit longer because it's booting off the flash drive, which isn't the fastest medium in the world. And I should really have closed this curtain first because we're getting a lot of screen reflection. Reflection from outside the screen. Maybe you can see my face in the screen. Ooh! Okay. You know, I believe, it's going to ask me if I want to try it, and I want to try it. I don't want to install it on my machine here. And it's going to take a while to set up whatever, I don't know what. I've already run it off this flash drive once, so it should be pretty much set. I'm not sure why it's taking quite so long here. Failed due to unknown user ID, but it does that every time. Of course, I've only booted it once before using this, but when I did that, it gave me the same error, but it still worked, so I don't know. Okay, here we go. Anybody with a Mac background will notice this looks very much like a Mac. I'm hoping anything that I had put on here, which, as it does, cheesy webcam boot. Yay! Yeah, unfortunately, because of some of the, how this is set up, the entire OS and all my programs are installed onto the flash drive, which gives me a problem when I run out of space, which I have. However, the nice thing about booting off the USB here is I can actually access the hard drive. So I can go through, figure out where this stuff's located, users, and then default owner, documents, wrong place. We don't use documents in my Windows 7. Pictures? Wrong location. Say we want to be users, owner? This looks like the right place. Pictures. And so I can access, this is off of my hard drive, and I can access it off my hard drive. Wow. So all these pictures are off my hard drive. So that's really nice, because then when I get a larger flash drive here, I can put Kdenlive on it, which is my video editing software we use. And then I can just browse through from here, find my location of the Bible animated. Right here, I wish this thing would show thumbnails. Come on. Ooh, list view, contact, or icon. Okay, so I've got, this is full of JPEGs and blend files and some zip files. Just see what happens. There we go, so there we go, a much bigger image. So it'll just be handy because then I'll have access to all of the Bible animated files, like creation of computer animation, which I've been working on lately. I've been rendering out these frames. I don't know if you guys can even really make this out on the screen. This is a sneak peek of the animation. Yeah, I don't know how good this is actually working. But maybe you can see, I don't know. I've been working on this lately though. I'm actually going to do maybe a preview of it a little later on in the podcast. But each frame's taking about 10 minutes, and I've just been rendering this overnight. Oh, now we're getting way beyond where it's at. So it's looking about another week yet before it's finished. But this is just a little me showing off. I seriously don't know why it's taking so long. It normally doesn't. It's probably because I'm recording video as I'm doing this. Okay, so doesn't want to zoom out. That's not good. What in the... Whoa. My mouse isn't working. Well, here we go. Oops. Okay, so anyways, basically what I had done... Zoom is not working at all. That's not good. Okay. Anyways, besides the point. Oops. Layer 1. Okay. So this was my old setting. Whoa. This was my old cloud mesh. And as you can tell, it has, looking up here, 31,827 vertexes and 31,180 faces. The new... Whoop, never mind. Forget what I just told you. Thought that they must have changed that. Well, how many faces and whatever's... Oh, well, if we do this, this one has 6 faces. It's just cube that I just kind of stretched out of shape. This one, there's a lot more points on here, a lot more data, and it has all these modifiers applied to it, whereas this one has no modifiers applied to it. So that helps speed up my render times. And then also I decreased my volumetric density someplace here. Resolution, it I think defaulted at 50. I reduced it all the way down to 10. So that was helping me get faster renders. So then basically what I've been doing is, for the last few days, I have just been setting this up and letting it render overnight. And in the first 30 frames you see absolutely no change. And you can kind of maybe tell these things very slowly load. Again, my computer is usually not this slow, it's because I'm recording the video. This is the first frame that we see the mist in there. These frames taking about 10 minutes each. So overnight they're averaging about 8 hours of render time. So I'm averaging about 48. Actually, I'm averaging about 50 frames a night, which is about 2 seconds. We got about a week more to go, I'm assuming, if these keep going at about 10 frames a minute. Or 10 frames an hour. I wish they'd go 10 frames a minute. That'd be incredible. But, so there those are. And I'm actually going to, an exclusive for the podcast here, can't even think what I'm doing. I'm going to actually run an animation. Oops, wrong button. Run an animation through of those images. So I'm just going to add those in here. Okay, and then pull out all of them that I don't want, which is anything above 153. Oh, above 153. Wish I didn't have to do this. Click on every image I don't want loaded, but and it's getting smaller and smaller as more and more images render. These ones I'm all deselecting it now. These are actually, I did a test render of every 10th frame, so I could tell beforehand if I was going to run into any problems. Oops, which fortunately I did not. So now we're looking at 154 frames, so it's 154. Of course it works to zoom out, so that makes sense. And then Alt A should play animation.